the number one piece of equipment to me when it comes to the Masters is Tiger's Trillium putter in '97. I mean, it kind of put Scotty Cameron on the map. I mean, I know people knew what Scotty Cameron was, but, you know, for people like me at that age who were, like, on the fringe and not really caring about equipment, it's like that was the epitome of Scotty Cameron putters at that point. So, I mean, when you're talking Masters gear, that's kind of the one. That's the one to me. And you had a point about that kind of putting face inserts on the map too, Jay Wall, right?
Yeah. I mean, until that point, you know, solid construction putters were pretty much the thing. I remember after Trillium came out, some of the manufacturers started to dabble a little bit in you know, different types of face inserts and technology. I mean, nowadays, I mean, you know this, face technology is a big selling point for a lot of these putters. You know, solid construction really isn't. It's not sexy. You know, you want to show visually show somebody something. But yeah, I think that's what made that Trillium so appealing. It was that like really bright, like copper color against that black head. It just pops. And
when the dots in the back
yeah,
cavity.
I mean, there's so many cool stories about that putter, about how Scotty came to fashion that insert in there and kind of what he had to do to get those dots in the back. I'm
Bettinardi milled the putter, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that something not a lot of people know.
And there's a lot
funny.
behind it. There's a lot of history behind just that putter in particular. And I think you're right, because I mean, just like you, when Tiger won in '97, I was begging my dad to get me that putter. That was the one.
Yeah, Webb Simpson said the same thing. He was begging his dad to get him the putter too.
I think
That's
we
a
were
great
all
story.
in like the same boat. Everybody that loves golf was begging their dad for that Trillium. But yeah, it's certainly one. You think about the shot of Tiger with when he's pumping his fist in '97.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that putter. I mean, the face of it right there.
Iconic image.
And that's I would definitely say that's probably in my top 5 for sure. I would say that Trillium is unmistakable, even though we didn't use it for that long. It's
no, he like quickly switched out of it. I think they were saying actually because of the face insert that he thought it was a little bit too soft, and then he goes into a milled putter.
breaks records at Augusta and decides that it's probably not worth it to stick with it.
Yeah, too funny. Classic Tiger.
What about you, Tim?
Man, so I go back to just a couple of clubs that have really defined the event and kind of defined golfing history. And my mind goes to 3 of them, and one of them is super old school, and you guys are probably going to roll your eyes, but one is the Cherry Bomb, obviously, just because of the number of wins and the amount of success it's had out there, the Tiger putter.
2 GSS.
I would probably put... Yeah, I mean, it goes in line with all the success that Tiger's had. But if you take the Masters away, if he doesn't ever get a Masters in his career, he's not the Tiger Woods that we know today. So that event, you know, his record throughout all the majors defines his career, but especially at the Masters. I mean, that's where he really came out to the world as far as being this iconic athlete that was going to change the game. So I go to the Cherry Bomb putter. I have to go back to '86. That McGregor response.
If you didn't put it on the list, I was going to call you out.
We got to get the response. Jack Nicklaus's putter, Clay Long. We got to get Clay on this pod. For those who may not be familiar, Clay Long did some wedge work for TaylorMade most recently. If you look at his career, it's one of those. You know, I'd put him up there with T.O. In legendary careers in the golf equipment industry. You know, Clay Long was Jack Nicklaus's iron designer with McGregor for years. So Clay designed that response putter for McGregor. I mean, it's not the sexiest looking thing in the world. It's
Ugly
pretty darn recognizable.
Really ugly.
Sold a ton of them after that event. But bottom line is, you know, Tiger even said that, you know, that '86 Masters, he was a little kid at the time. But that's really kind of what got a lot of people in my generation, I'm a little older than you guys, kind of going, is that '86 Masters, that resurgence for Jack. You know, Tiger used to sleep every night with Jack's, you know, career milestones up on the wall. Is Jack Nicklaus this thing to him without that mystique that he built up winning the Masters, in age 40 or whatever he was. How old was he when he won in 86? Whatever that math ends up being. But, to stay as the best player in the game for as long as he did and then snag a Masters, as late as he did in his career, you can make an argument that maybe golf isn't as important or doesn't have as much gravity to Tiger as it does if Jack doesn't, sustain that through his career. And then the one that kind of put the event on the map overall, Gene Sarazen hit his famous shot from the 15th hole, double eagle. It's 5-wood. It's kind of a Frankenstein 5-wood. I don't remember the brand. Brands obviously didn't have any relevance to what brands are these days. But an old Persimmon 5-wood that he holed out on the 15th hole to end up making double eagle, goes on to win the event. And that really kind of established a Masters event that started to capture the attention of the press. It was kind of just a get-together between some friends before that, the first few years that they used to host the Masters. And that was the first thing that media started to pay attention to the event when after that shot. So that's kind of where I go when I look at the famous equipment that's resulted in having maximum impact around that track.